First of all, forgive the backwards hat. I know some of you have said mean things in the past. Like, why are you wearing a hat? I'm like, dude, it's just a hat. I'm wearing it backwards because I got lights in front of me, and I'm wearing a hat to begin with because my hair is super greasy. I haven't showered in like 2 days. I've been cleaning all weekend. So, okay. I was, for those of you who don't know, I live in the Huntsville, Alabama area. I'm actually in Decatur. And Huntsville, Alabama, just in the past, hasn't really had any good AV stores. I mean, up until 2008, we had Tweeter, which I used to love going there. Some of you guys maybe even remember Tweeter. That was a fantastic store. It was high end. They carried everything. It was awesome. They closed around like 2000, maybe 6, 7, 8, somewhere in that region. And since then, pretty much all we've had is Best Buy. Other than some custom install places, the ones that we have had, when you walk into them, they don't have anything on the showroom floor. And they're really just geared around custom installation where they'll walk through what you want to do for your new build or your existing home. And then they'll order the stuff and then come and set it up for you. Now, this store called AVIQ, again, it's in Huntsville, Alabama, has been open for a little while. I actually found it last year when I was searching for a company that carries this brand of speaker called Devone, and this is their Reference 1 speaker. I mean, this is a gorgeous looking speaker. And out of all the areas and all the stores that carry this in the United States, this local store to me is one brand one place that carries this brand. And Devone makes other speakers such as this Solo and then this Twist speaker. So I found out this AVIQ place carries it. Well, I never went and looked at AVIQ because honestly, I thought it was the same deal as the other custom installation stores that are in this area, which are places that just don't have anything on the showroom floor. So I didn't give it any second thought. Like a month or two after that, a patron messaged me and told me, hey, I went to the store and checked it out. It's in your area. Dude, it's pretty awesome. And I was like, cool, I'll have to get over there and check it out sometime. Now, it's probably been maybe a year or so since I've had that conversation with this particular patron, and I just never made it over there until yesterday. I was cleaning, I was with my girlfriend, and then we decided we were going to take a lunch break, and I thought, I would really like to go check out this store. I usually don't have Saturdays free. My daughter was, hanging out with some friends, so it was just me and her this day, and I thought, well, let's go check out this AV store here in town. And I got to tell you that I'm extremely happy that I did. The owners there are super, super nice guys. Mike and Chip were more than happy to walk myself and my girlfriend around and show us everything that they have in the store. We shared stories. They told us really cool things about just the audio business and people who are in the area that have really deep rooted ties to the audio industry, not audio reproduction, but actually engineering, mastering, mixing albums and Grammy award winning albums. So hopefully maybe with some connections there, I can meet some of these other gentlemen and maybe we can do some interviews. If you guys are interested in that, let me know. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to give them a shout because if you're like me, you probably just assume these stores that are around me probably aren't any good. And that's why I held off on going to this place for so long because, that's my fault. But I wanted to highlight what this particular store has for two reasons. One is if you're in the Huntsville, Alabama area, or you're within maybe a few hundred miles or a few hours away, it might be worth your drive down to check this place out because they have a ton of stuff, what you're about to see. But also make sure to take the time to give your local stores a shot because you may be pleasantly surprised. The first thing we're going to start off with is this picture of the Devone. I think this is the Solo. It's the first thing I saw when I walked in the door. This is the back side of it. And then this is the tower rack that they have set up for it, a Macintosh amplifier. It looks like that hybrid amplifier, but I'm not 100% sure. Turntable, and then you've got their preamp down here. And then this is Devone. This is a little sticker on the front. And it's just this speaker, I tell you, it looks fantastic. This is their Magnapan room, which tons of Magnapan. Now, I didn't get to listen to the Magnapan. I'll make sure to tell you what I did get to hear and what I did not get to hear. This is the office of the owner with the Don Audio. I don't remember which model this is. I want to say it was the LYD5, but y'all can let me know in the comment section below. Notice that he has some Dayton audio transducers. Now, he was telling me that he did that as a physics experiment for a local school in the area where they set these exciters up on top of a desk and played some music for these kids, and they were like, what? So I thought that was really cool that not only are these people selling product, but they're going out, kind of like an outreach, if you will, and demonstrating the science behind sound. Rick, like that's right up my alley. This is their Dyne Audio section. And these, I think, are the Contour 50s. I may be mistaken. I don't remember the model number for these as well. I could look it up, but I think you guys are okay with me not knowing specific models right now. And then the Class E, Class A amplifier. More Dyne Audio, Kef Blade 1 Meta. This is the backside of the Kef Blade 1 Meta with some more speakers. More Kef 1 Blade Meta in front of me. You can see over in this corner is the Klipsch Cornwall speakers. This is their theater room, which has... you'll see more of this in a little bit, but I just had to snap this picture of Joe Walsh because I'm a huge Joe Walsh fan. Now, this is just kind of neat. One of the owners there, Chip, he showed me this little cabinet with the radio, and then it opens up to show the old school TV. And they've got little goodies like this sprinkled throughout the shop. It's just really cool to see it. The Kef LS60, more Kef products, Focal Sopra 3s, preamp. This is their DAC, and this is the amplifier, all Prima Luna product. Macintosh 2300. You may remember this from the Grateful Dead stuff. I was told that this has been fully rebuilt from the ground up and is ready to go. I was considering asking what they wanted for this, but I was just honestly scared. This is some Macintosh speakers that have recently come back around. So Macintosh has re-released this. These were in the back, so they let me check out the back room. Some more Kef stuff, monitor audio. This is some of their theater room setups to give you a different idea of, their price ranges and what they can do. The big shot of the right side of the place when you come in. This is the Focal Utopia room. And then behind it, you've got the Canta speakers, which I think these Canta speakers are awesome. And you can see they've got a window here. That's the front door. This is the main area when you come in right there. These are Dyne speakers right here, by the way. Kef Reference Meta products as well. So you've got the Reference 3 Meta and the Reference 1 Meta right here. More of their bookshelf size speakers, so the more affordable stuff. Their smaller room with the R3 Meta and the LS50. I believe these are the 50s. I don't know if they're the wireless, but I believe they're just the 50s. And now I'm going to drop in a video of me just kind of walking through. And I don't show everything, but I think this kind of gives you an overall feel of the store. And I just want to share something that I think is cool. Walking tour of Aviq here in Huntsville, Alabama. This is one of the rooms. This place is awesome, guys. Seriously awesome. I think I was told these are the Focal Sopra 3s. And they actually sound really good. Check out the diffusion panel. And these are actually made here in-house. Continuing on. Got some monitor audio speakers. Tower of stuff. Kef. Look. NAD. I love that. Love that preamp. Amplifier integrated. Now this brand is one that I'm super curious about hearing one of these days. I'll edit the video to tell you because I actually have forgotten the name of it. We got Magnapan. Haven't gotten to hear those yet. Hopefully I will next time. Just a scan of the space. This is just such an awesome store. And now you see those Kefs. That's where I'm going back to. Kef, Dyne Audio. Here's a theater room. They said they were running Theory Audio in here. And they're actually using Dirac Live with the active room treatment or active bass treatment. I can't remember the name of it now. Active room treatment. And then look, you got some clips down here. Heresy 4s. Got some Dyne Audio. The Contours, I don't remember the specific models, but gosh, they're awesome. The Class A amplifier. Classy. I know I'm going to get chewed up for mispronouncing that, but you guys know I'm from the South. I don't have fancy terms. Blade Meta 1s. These are the big ones. Macintosh pushing it. Then we got some Cornwall and some Forte 4s. Macintosh tube amp. And then the C2700 preamplifier, tube preamplifier, if you're into that kind of thing. I'm not saying I'm not, just saying for those of you who are. And the KEF reference 3 meta and the reference, I'm sorry, there are reference 1 meta as well. This is one of my favorite speakers right here of all time. And then these are fantastic as well. These are another. Let's see what the brand is real fast. Devone. If you're wondering, I did get to hear some of the systems. I didn't get to hear all of the systems because, number one, time, but number two is, I know I'm not buying anything, so I hate to bother salesmen and shop owners when I know that I'm not buying anything, at least that day. They probably would have let me if I had asked, and I do plan to go back and hear more, but I listened to the KEF Blade 1 Meta, I thought sounded fantastic, and I listened to the Focal Sopra 3s, which I thought sounded fantastic. Now, if I'm being honest, I actually thought the Sopra 3s sounded better because there was more bass, but there was more bass because it was in a room. You can see that those KEFs were standing out in a wide open area. And that's something that I really want to make a distinction of is I would not base my entire purchase decision off of that one demo. If I were actually spending that kind of money at that shop that day, I probably would have asked them, can you put these KEFs in the same room as the Focals or bring the Focals out? The thing about listening to speakers in an open space versus a room is reflections. If a speaker behaves well on axis and you're listening to it in a wide open space, then there's no reflection. So what you're going to hear mostly is the on-axis sound, the direct sound, and it's going to sound great. But if it behaves poorly off-axis, then when you put it into a room, it's probably not going to sound as good. Now, the Focal 3s, I was curious, they didn't sound bright like some Focals that I'm used to hearing. Why is that? Well, there's a lot of absorption material in that room. There's diffraction panel as well behind me. So maybe that was helping tame any kind of high frequency boost that I might have otherwise heard. But I will say that I went and checked out Stereophile's review and I looked at John Atkinson's measurements of that. It looks like a really clean, flat on-axis response. And if memory serves me correctly, I think the horizontal off-axis response was pretty well maintained as well. So that gives me the indication that what I heard in the room is matching those measurements pretty reasonably. And it's probably an overall good speaker. But like I said, I really want to make the distinction that when you listen to a speaker in one room versus another or a different space entirely, you can't always assume that you're getting the exact flavor of what it's going to sound like in your room or in a room. Like if you take a speaker out in the field, you expect that it's going to sound different. And in a wide open space like they had those KEF Blade 1 Metas, that's kind of the same thing. Those Focals, though, I will tell you, those things sounded fantastic and they look great as well. The Blade 1 Metas, to me, look great and they sounded fantastic as well. So, if I were spending that kind of money, I would take my time. I think anybody with a reasonable mindset would too, and try them in different locations and maybe even ask if you could bring them home and try both with a deposit put down or something like that. But yeah, I just wanted to say that. I didn't listen to the other systems, but I do hope to go back sometime soon and hear some of the Magnapans. I'd like to hear the Devone for sure. The Klipsch Heresies and the Klipsch Fortes, I've already heard. The KEF Reference 1 Metas, I've already heard in my own house as well. So I have an idea. But those Magnapans and those Devone speakers, I really would like to hear at some point. As you can see, don't give up on your local stores. This place has everything from budget bookshelf, KEF Q150 to Focal Utopia to KEF Blade 1 Meta. And these Devone speakers, I hope I get to hear those Reference 1s at some point because those are the ones. I actually reached out to Devone about a year ago, maybe 6 months ago, and was curious if they would be willing to send me a pair of their speakers. I didn't get a reply back, but maybe I can make a connection or something through this video or through this local shop and possibly get a pair to demo and to review because I tell you, if they sound half as good as they look, I think that's a brand that probably needs to be highlighted here in the States because I've not heard of them outside of maybe just a couple posts on the forums. I got to give another thank you to the guys at AVIQ. Thanks for hosting us. It was a rainy, crappy day. You really made it a highlight. We were there, I think, for an hour and a half. I will be back. Thank you again. And if you guys are in this area, please stop by. Let them know that I sent you, just so you know